Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Wavy and this is just Wavy Media, and I have started a new thing now that Ireland is unlocking a little bit called Travel Tuesdays. So here is another video from Cork for Travel Tuesdays, a kind of wet and rainy Cork. Returning subscribers, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you will enjoy this video and learn something about the city that was my home for a long time. So here I am at the place where the two channels of the River Lee converge. The Port of Cork sign is there. I'll put in a picture of it because you can't see it from this angle. This video is going to be about the River Lee. I'm kind of apt because I'm soaked at the minute. It's that kind of rain that like gets you very wet instantly. But anyway, this video about the River Lee. So Cork is on the River Lee. And the river actually converges here at this point because it splits into two separate channels, North Lee and the South Lee, and then comes back together just here. So you can see there's one channel going that way and then one right here with me. You'll see that better in the picture. And so Cork is actually an island. The city centre is an island, and I'll show you a picture of that too. And so here we have the majestic River Lee, which makes the best cup of Barry's tea. So behind me right now is the Port of Cork building. You can see the sign is to the other side of my head right now. This is the Port of Cork building, and then down the bottom, those green doors are actually places they used to store alcohol before they shipped it out, because there was a weird rule in Irish tax law that as long as you stored your alcohol, you didn't have to pay taxes on it. So it would get stored in there, those doors would be sealed up, and then when they were unsealed, the people would have to pay taxes. And the building up the top, which I'll bring you to the front of in a different video, is Customs House, where taxes had to be paid on incoming and outgoing products, exports and imports into Cork. And it's funny, like, I've seen that building a few times. Before I worked for revenue in Ireland, and now I am a revenue employee, and that building would have been part of the revenue family a long time ago, probably before Ireland was a free state, when we were still part of the UK. I'm not sure how long it operated for, but yes. So we got Customs House and the Port of Cork buildings where they used to store the alcohol so they didn't have to pay taxes on it. And you've got the north channel of the River Lee there behind me as well. So I wanted to show you these things in my River Lee video. I used to work in this building when it wasn't this building. The building I worked in got knocked down and changed, and at night it used to be quite creepy if it was quiet in there, if I was the only one there, because these used to talk. They're like an audio art exhibition, and one of them used to say about how many like animals were taken onto boats in Cork and lost at sea, and that was very creepy. And you'd hear like sea noises, boat noises, that kind of thing. It was, when you didn't know it was these, it was like, are there ghost ships outside? So I don't think they're working anymore. I can't hear anything from them right now, but it could be because of the traffic here on the road. But yeah, these used to give me the serious wiggins when I worked up here. One of the things you will find if you come to Cork is these things, not usually this big, but where you would tie up your ship or your boat. You will find them on random streets in Cork. And this vlog is gonna answer the question, why in the middle of the land is there a place to tie up some boats? So stay tuned for more riveting, entertaining vlogs from Wavy. You're welcome. This bridge behind me is actually Cork's newest bridge. This wasn't here when I used to live here. I did do some riveting vlog content walking over it. If you want to watch that, I'll leave it in a card above, so you can see that. But I want to talk to you from this next bridge. So that's where we're going to go next. And I'll see you there for you in a second, for me in a few minutes. So this is St Patrick's Bridge, linking the worst hill in Cork, Patrick's Hill, which goes all the way up there, to Patrick Street, which is here, named after St Patrick, of course. So this bridge was the first bridge built on this side of the river. So that's the bridge that I was at a minute ago, and there's now two more up that way. But for a long time, boats used to still come up to Cork, which is, this is the Opera House here. So just past the Opera House is Cork, and boats would come up to there for quite some time. And then eventually they decided to close that off and build this bridge because there was no bridges up this side of the town. So you can see here, the foundation stone for this bridge was laid on the 10th of November 1859. For a city that is as old as Cork is, that's a long time for it to not have a bridge at the side of the city. So behind me, you've probably seen from a previous video, is Patrick Street, which is Cork's main street. I was talking a while ago about seeing like places to tie up boats in the middle of the city. This is one of those prime examples. The River Lee actually runs under this street. It used to be a channel of the River Lee. There's an island like this side and an island on the side I'm standing on, and they had bridges over and back, but eventually they decided to cover up the whole river, and it flows out at this bridge here. So in 2005, Cork was Europe's city of culture, and they did up all this area. They added these cool lights, street lights, and when they dug down, they found the river still flowing underneath the street here, because it's just a bridge over the river, but it's a whole street of a bridge, and it's a long street. So this is Daunt Square, which is on where Patrick Street and Grand Parade meet, and if you see behind me here, this Deals is in a place called Queen's Old Castle. You see that up there. So originally there was a castle here, and then down here there's a jeweller's just around that corner. There was a castle there, so this was Queen's Castle and then King's Castle, and they guarded the entrance to the city because Patrick Street was river, and so was Grand Parade was river, and the river flowed that way to the north channel of the Lee, currently along Cornmarket Street. And these two castles were like guarding the entrance to the city. So this behind me now would have all been marsh in the like 1700s and before. There would have been nothing there. Now it is Cork's biggest street. That's the one that I was telling you before is all bridge, and then the same for here, Grand Parade, all bridge over the River Lee as well. So at the end of this street here is the customs building that I was talking about. At the front of it, you can see on the top, I'll go closer in a minute, but I'll show you like with me off the camera. On the top you can see the Port of Cork, Cork City sign, which says in Latin, a safe harbour for ships. I did a series when I lived here for the radio called Coonslán, which is the Irish for safe harbour. And then we'll go see that from a bit closer. So here we are directly outside Old Customs House. Now this side used to look like this, which was an architectural decision, but when the Port of Cork company bought it, they added a meeting room up here, so kind of wrecked it architecturally speaking. But inside it has really nice Corinthian columns, but it's not going to be here for much longer. I think this has protected the facade, but they've actually sold this. So I'm going to put a picture in again of the Cork map. So you can see that this is on the tongue of Cork, as they call it, that juts out into both channels of the water. But the Port of Cork has moved their operations further out the harbour. This is too far in now for all the big ships that come in. So they've sold this building, and this side is going to be redeveloped. You might remember when I was at the other side of it, I was over there on the north channel, like I will show you some, I'll insert some pictures of what they plan to do with this site. They plan to put a big tower there that's going to be like, looking up, it was going to be like this eventually, but that would be really cool to see it redeveloped. There's a lot of development going on in this area. That building there that I showed you a while ago, and then over here there's a lot of development too, and even where I'm standing. You can see some of that development just here when we come like around the side of the building. All the south side, the south channel of the Lee at this point where it meets the north channel of the Lee has been really developed. You're going to have to excuse the loud traffic when it starts moving, but I just wanted to show you this is the bridge on the south channel of the Lee. So we've got the south part of the Lee, and then where they join together is just over there past the Port of Cork building. You can see the Port of Cork sign there again from the other side, and then on this side we've got City Hall right here, and the river goes up that way. So this separates, the island is on this side, and then this is the hilly bit at the other side. So you can really see the development in this area, and then over there that's this other side. So you've got the customs building there, Port of Cork sign there, so that's where the rivers join. And the other side is beginning to be developed now, but look at this side. But they did keep some of the old features. I think that's an old railway station right there that they kept, and they just developed around it. And then that's City Hall. So now I'm here on the south channel of the River Lee. So this is the south part. There's the island on that side, and I am on the south bank of the River Lee. And up there you can see the lights of Grand Parade. And then this way from me is South Mall. And South Mall again is another of those roads that used to be a river. So you could imagine there's like loads of islands and a lot of marsh, and then a lot of River Lee running past all of them. This part of Cork, this bridge here often floods. This all floods quite a lot, because you can even see just now how high the river is, and it's not that crazy a wet day. So when it's a very wet day, this is the part of the city that is always flooded. So I'm here now at Lancaster Quay. This is still the south channel of the River Lee. It used to, where this bus is coming from is Washington Street. That used to also be a channel of the River Lee, which goes down onto Grand Parade. And here, the River Lee is actually very close to the north channel, which is only a couple of streets that way. They are almost right beside each other at this point. But it goes up there to UCC, which is where I used to go to college. We're going that way at the moment because I'm meeting up with a friend, because it's kind of getting too wet to stay in town. So we'll see a bit more of it a little further up. I'm still on Lancaster Quay, just a little bit further up from the bridge that I was on talking to you a minute ago. But here's like one of the smallest places for the north and south channel. So I'm on the island, that's the south bank, this is the south channel, and then there's a school just there at the end of this street. Right behind that school is the north channel of the River Lee. So they are very close together at this point, just two streets really, either side of them. So this is the main gate of UCC, and you can see just inside it there's a bridge. Because UCC is on the south shore, but the main gates are on the island of Cork, and the south part of the river just runs there at that bridge. This is where I went to university and did 2 degrees in religion and history and a professional diploma in education to teach religion and history. So that's why all the religion and history videos in Cork. I'm standing here on Northgate Bridge, which is part of the north channel of the River Lee. This is looking towards like the bus station, those bridges, Patrick's Bridge that way, so downriver, and then that way is upriver. So this area here where you can see the Gate Cinema would have been the medieval city of Cork. So the walls would have been here, and this bridge is one of the first bridges on the north side of the city, the North Gate Bridge. So if you can imagine, the old city walls would have been just here, and then on this side, this area is called Shandon, which is from the Irish Shan Dún. Shan means old and Dún means fort. So there was a fort on this side, and then the medieval city walls would have been on this side. And this is the first bridge that was on, well, it's obviously not original, but the first bridge on the north side was here, and this is called North Main Street here, which would have been the main street through, obviously the main street through the old medieval Cork. So it's not a big street anymore, it's not a very popular street anymore. Patrick Street and Oliver Plunkett Street are a lot more full of stuff, but North Main Street still has the name because it's the original main street through the medieval city of Cork, which would have started here. So now I am standing here on the crossroads between North Main Street, South Main Street and Washington Street. This is Grand Parade down here. So this street, Washington Street, in medieval Cork would have also been a channel of the River Lee. So right here where I'm about to cross would have been a bridge crossing the River Lee here at what is now Washington Street. And so you had North Main Street was part of medieval Cork, a bridge here across the River Lee, and then South Main Street here, continuing the main street. There's now like almost nothing on this street. I have no real reason for filming here, except I wanted to show you this. Here we're at the south channel of the River Lee. You can see St Finbarr's Cathedral in the background here, and there's just this nice tiny winchy little waterfall that makes a nice sound. And so it's your friend, future editor Wavy, who has just walked outside to film this little bit, because I didn't film a closing for this video because I'm clever like that. I wanted to also film from the place where the River Lee separates, and I did, and that file, the sound is there, but there is no video. So I don't know what happened. I don't know. Was maybe something covering the camera? I don't know what happened, but anyway, it's not there, so I can't show you that. So that is the end of the Lee story, the history and the story of the River Lee in Cork video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a like, subscribe to keep the tide coming in, comment down below, I don't know whatever you want to comment. And I just thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see the rest of the Travel Tuesday videos, I'll link them above. Are they going to be on that side or that side? I don't remember. Whatever side they're going to be on, I'll link them there, and you can see those videos too. And until next Travel Tuesday, take care.